Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. It's RetroKaizer here, and I am glad to say that we finally did it, people. We finally made another Roblox video. I've been wanting to make one for a while now, and I've just been so busy in my real life that it's unimaginable. I had to join a few clubs to help out decorating Christmas and New Year, so things were tough here. Also, a few family problems were going on as well, but aside from that, RetroKaizer is here, and this is officially the last video of 2020. And what a year, I must say. It's been crazy, it's been bonkers, a whole lot of stuff went here and there. People, a whole lot of evil has been done this year, but thankfully we're all here, and yeah, this is pretty much the end of the year, and we're finally gonna start another year, 2021. Hopefully this year will be good. 2021, I have high hopes for it being a good year. So yes, everyone, thank you very much for making my goal come true. I mean, it was a dream. That goal, I never thought I would reach 100 subscribers in my life, but we did it. We passed 100 subs, and here we are. And it's a pretty big deal for me, so I thank all of you who subscribed. Although 97.3% of you are still unsubscribed. Come on, viewers. Help RetroKaizer out here. Without you guys, RetroKaizer is nothing. So yes, and in today's video, I was just basically gonna discuss the a few good cars for C1 according to my preference and based on my knowledge, because I've talked to a few pros and clans, so there are a few similar cars, but most of them are from my own experience. So yes, let's get into that video. And before we head into the main topic, Snowman Hunt, see how it went. You'll enjoy it, I can assure you. Rightio, so here we are, and we're going to be discussing a few good cars for C1, and the cars that I'm going to show you guys are totally based on my own experience and what, you know, professionals have told me in the game, you know, the pro rank people, and what clans prefer usually. So it's going to be based off that. There's going to be two categories, advanced and beginner. So we're going to start off with the beginner, and yeah, let's head over to that one. So at number 1, we got the Shogun FD7, or the Mazda RX-7 FD3S, if you may say so. And this car is one of the best beginner cars because, number 1, if you want to improve your lines on C1, this car is really helpful. And number 2, it is a tier 3 car, but it isn't the fastest of the bunch, but it has massive acceleration. Like with this particular RX-7 that I'm driving right now, I've overtaken a whole bunch of cars, but yes, cars which have a better top end will overtake you. And as you can see, this car has a pretty good bit of control to it. It feels stable under high speeds, but beware, once you cross the 240 limit, it becomes kind of unstable, and it just kind of leaves you with that bit that, oh, if this had a 6th gear, it would have been so much better. Yes, it would have been awesome. It would have been a great car if it had a 6th gear, but unfortunately it doesn't, and it follows the true to life scenario because the FD in real life didn't have 6-speed, as much as I know. So yeah, the first car is of course going to be the RX-7. It also comes at a very cheap price, which I'm going to show you right now. It comes in at a price of 3,653,100,000 yen, and yeah, you can 100% buy this if you want to improve. If you're either beginning to drive on C1 or you just want to improve your lines. Coming in at number 2, we got the 1999 Shuriken Exodus Revolution 6, which is the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 6. It is an awesome car, as you can see over here. This car gives you an all-wheel drive setup. However, it is not as fast as the FD. Yes, it accelerates a bit late than the FD, and it doesn't reach the top speed as much as the FD. But yes, this car is a handling dream. If you were serious about improving every single curb and line, I would suggest you get this car, because this car handles like no other. I'm not gonna lie. It might not have the best top end, especially for C1, but yes, if you are serious about really getting down there and improving your all-around curves and lines, then this car actually will help you a lot. The FD is a great option, but in terms of handling, this is superior than the FD any day. So yeah, I would 100% suggest, if you want to improve your lines, get this car. Okay, so this is the first advanced car that I'm going to be talking about, and this is the 2009 Mikuna Angel Z34, which is actually the Nissan Z370Z, I believe. 340. I'm kind of confused with the 340, 370, but it's a Z. Know that much. So this car is advanced because, first and foremost, you have to be good at driving. That's the first rule for the advanced cars. You have to be good and familiar with C1. And particularly the Z is a very good transition car from a beginner to an advanced, because unlike me, I started off with my advanced list with the NSX. Now, that was something else, but this car here is a lot more forgiving, first and foremost. But yes, it is very heavy. It's very heavy handling, and you will get decent time if you know how to drive nicely. Otherwise, you won't be getting anywhere with this car, because the handling is kind of heavy. Not very heavy, but it is heavy, and it is a pretty good all-rounder transition car from beginner to advanced. Coming in at second place in the advanced list, we got the Toyota Supreme Mark IV. Now this is, in real life, the Toyota Supra. Yes, and it is a good car, but it has a very huge drawback, and I've experienced it myself. It is very heavy. This car is a boat. Okay, so you won't be getting those accurate turns or those sharp in turns, but you will be getting a whole lot more speed. Yes, this car is quite fast. It is faster than the Z, but it is way more heavier than the Z. I'm not gonna lie. If you are transitioning from a beginner to advanced, you will find that this car is very heavy, first and foremost, and second, it has a tendency to spin. Yes sir, it has a huge tendency to spin because the car generates quite a bit of wheel spin, so look out for that. But aside from those cons, the Supra is a pretty good car, and you can easily get some decent time if you get some practicing. So at advanced number 3, we got the 1992 Prusa 846 Turbo, which is, I believe, a 911 Turbo. I don't really know. I don't have that much knowledge about Porsches, but yeah, this car is a pretty good car. And the thing is, there's a catch. This car will give you awesome time, but you gotta learn how to drive it. Because if you get excited even for a second, this car will spin on you and you will lose whatever time you have. So this car is a spinny boy, so I'd be very careful. And I'd suggest this car to people who are well seasoned and who are looking for an upgrade from the previous mentioned cars, because this car can take on a Supra, because I've personally overtaken a Supra and defeated it. But sometimes, in most cases, the Supra will be more superior due to its better top end. This car tops out at what? It's a 5-speed car, so it doesn't top out that high as the Supra, but it will be good because it goes off the line a lot more quicker, because it's a very high accelerating car, and overall its performance will be very, very, very good. But you gotta learn how to drive it, because if you don't know how to drive it nicely, if you don't know its in and outs, it will leave you thinking like, why did I buy this? It's a waste of money. So yes, warnings given, buy it at your own risk, I'm gonna say, because look, when I bought this, I didn't know how to drive it, and over time I learned how to drive it, and it became a very, very good weapon for me. And for a time, this was the only car I used. Even on Otsuki, I used to get good times, but later on I stopped using this because, well, I looked for a better upgrade. A better upgrade is what I got. So yes, the Pursuer is a good car. You can go ahead and buy it, but as I said, you have to put in some time behind it to learn its ways. Coming in at the 4th advanced car place is the 2001 BMW E46 M3 GTR, which is in real life the most wanted car. You know what I mean, Need for Speed players. This car is the 2001 BMW E46 M3 GTR. 2001, it was the 90s model. It's kind of a bit of a confusion for me because, I mean, this car is pretty old now. So yeah, this car is number 4 for a few good reasons. It's on number 4 because this car is pretty much a very versatile weapon. I'm not gonna lie, it's a very good car, but it has a huge con, which kind of, it was pretty much the reason that I had to put it aside myself, because this car, the gears is very long. The gearing in this car is very, very long, and you really have to rev it out to the top end on every gear if you want to, unleash its true potential and get some good performance out of this car. And for many drivers, that is sometimes possible for them, but it is again sometimes a hazard for them because they don't really know how to handle that much from one car. And another thing is, this car is a rear-wheel drive car, so it's going to be a whole different story if you somehow lose control and just start spinning. I mean, it is a very sensitive car, I'll mind you that. It will spin, but if you can control it, just like the Porsche, it can give you a good bit of performance. I mean, you can easily get a 304 with this if you are that good enough. I'm not saying it's not possible, but yes, if you stick to the basics, if you go all out and just learn with this car, it will give you that time, but it will take a while. That's what I'm saying. It is kind of hard to drive, and I would say if you are transitioning from the beginner to an advanced, I would suggest don't buy this car yet. Get seasoned as an advanced driver, then think about buying this, because this car will sometimes make you rip your hair out, but it will most of the time be very rewarding. Coming down to the 5th advanced car, we have the 2002 Lotus Spirit S4 V8, which in real life is the Lotus Esprit S4 V8. Now this car, by some professionals, is called the quote-unquote fastest car in the entirety of Midnight Racing Tokyo, which it deserves that name, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I use this car too much, but it doesn't feel that it deserves that title. But most of the people that I've talked with, that I've asked, the professionals, they pretty much said that yes, this is the fastest car in the entirety of MRT, this is the fastest car for C1, this and that, yada yada yada. But then again, this car is a rear-wheel drive car, yes sir, but however, it handles like an all-wheel drive car. That is surprising for me. Although many people say that they spinned out with it, it's an all-around car, it just doesn't drive nice. Well, fortunately for me, I don't know about anyone else, but my experience with the Esprit has been quite good. This is the car that got me all the way to a decent time. Like, this is the car I hit 318 with it for the first time. The fastest I've gone with this is a 314, and that was like what, back in November is when I made that personal best of mine. So I've been extensively using the Esprit for my laps, and I still to this day am gonna say this is, to me, not saying that you guys have to think like this as well, but according to me and my personal preference, this is one of the best cars in Midnight Racing Tokyo, because this car, first of all, the handling is very forgiving. It is very forgiving, be it on controller, be it on keyboard. It is very good, forgiving. You will get accurate inputs with this car, but it also has a very huge drawback. It's a 5-speed car, and saying that, sometimes the top end feels a bit strained, because reaching 280 in this car isn't a big deal all the time. You can reach it on many occasions. On C1 you can reach 280, but the thing is, this car should be driven by people who are well seasoned, once again. Because when I was looking around for better cars, I'm gonna say this now, but I was receiving training from a professional. I'm gonna keep him anonymous because he said he wanted to be anonymous, so I'm gonna keep him out of this. But he said that there are actually true pros that I'm being trained by. One of them, the second pro that I'm learning from, told me that you should try using the Esprit, and that he was using that car at the time. Although now he uses a different car, but at the time he was using that car. He gave me a test drive, I drove it, and at that time I realized that this car is pretty good. I should get it. And when I got that car gave me great times. I mean, I had the NSX. The NSX was my first ever C1 car. Although I trained in C1 around with like my RX-7 at first, but later on, the first ever C1 exclusive C1 car that I bought was the NSX. You can go back and see my previous video. It was a blue colored black top NSX, which I was drag racing all over the place before I got hooked on the C1. Yes, I'm a C1 driver, not an Natsuki driver that much, but who knows, I may be of both worlds pretty soon. But yes, I would 100% say if you are transitioning, you should 100% think about this car, because it will be great. And it's not that expensive. That's the biggest part. It's not that expensive. With the beginner money, you can buy this car and you can start training from day one. But once again, if you are looking in the market, you're looking around for something better, this is a very good upgrade. This will make your life easy, is what I'm going to say. So 100%, if you are looking around for a better upgrade, or just wanting something OP for C1, the Esprit is your car, my friend. It is your car. The final advanced car that we're going to be talking about is the 1996 Lotus Carlton, which is in fact, I believe, the Lotus Carlton. I don't really have much knowledge about this car, but yes, I've driven it in MRT, and this car is very OP. I'm gonna say that. But there's a very, very, very big but over here. This car is the most difficult car to drive in the entire game to me. But I'm not saying that I'm once again, I'm not saying like you have to think the way I do, but I've driven it personally and it just didn't suit my style. Like, as I said before, I use the Esprit more, and the Esprit gives you that sharp turning, but this is more heavier than boat, Supra, anything else. I'm just saying that it's very, very heavy, but the speed is blistering. Yes sir, the speed is blistering, and if you get in the habit of driving this car and can actually move it according to your will, you can easily reach the top of the leaderboard in times on C1, because I've seen many professionals drive this car. A few have beaten me in it, a few haven't beaten me in it, in my Esprit, but yes, this car is one of the greatest in the game, if you know how to drive it. Once again, that theory keeps coming up alongside every single advanced car, is that if you can drive it, because these cars, the advanced cars, are quite difficult for absolute beginners, but if you're seasoned, you have to get used to them, no matter what. Even if you are a beginner, and even if you decide to buy it as a beginner, it will still be difficult because you'll need to get used to these cars. So yeah, that was pretty much it for this one. I mean, this was a pretty long discussion, and once again, I thank you all very, very much for watching this video. If you have made it this far in this video, then I thank you very much for giving my content that much time and giving it appreciation. that you guys watched it for so long. And I hope this video was useful to all of you, because this was according to my experience. I'm not gonna lie, I've been playing MRT for a hot while now, and all of the knowledge that I've acquired in this video was acquired through my own experiences. And well, yeah, the last video of 2020. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you once again, all of you subscribers out there who have subscribed to the channel and made RetroKaizer 100 subscribers. I mean, that was a dream of mine. You guys made it come true, and I'm very, very grateful. And also, the 97.3% who isn't still subscribed, please do consider subscribing, because awesome content will be coming out soon. So yes, on that note, hopefully this was useful for all of you, and I mean, I didn't say anything in favor of a specific car or anything like that. This was totally based off my experiences, and I'm not saying that you have to think like me or you should think like me, but yes, this was how I felt about the cars, and I just kept it out there so that you guys could hopefully get wider sight upon things in MRT. So yes, on that note, thank you everyone very much for watching this video. This is RetroKaizer signing off, and I will see you in 2021. Hope you guys liked the new intro though. So yeah, thank you for watching.